You fought at Stalingrad for 200 days. You know the exact number because you counted them. That's the kind of man you are. It kept you alive when counting was the only thing left to do. The NKVD agent across the table is 26. Never saw combat. His boots are clean. He reads from a file. Article 58, Section 10. Bourgeois nationalism. Anti-Soviet agitation. One speech, 14 minutes. Someone filed a report, 10 years. Labor camp. You don't argue. You've seen what arguing costs. You calculate instead. 10 years. You'll be 39. If your body holds, if the camp allows it, then the second document. Your wife, your 2 children, ages 7 and 4. Relatives of an enemy of the state. Formal processing begins in 90 days unless the case is administratively resolved. The medals are still on the table. Nobody picks them up. That's the mathematics. Siberia, February, -38. The camp is Perm 36, 1,700 kilometers east of Moscow. Logging operation. Your daily quota is 4 cubic meters of timber. You weigh 71 kilograms on intake day. The guard writes it in a ledger. It is the last time anyone records your weight like it matters. The work is 11 hours in standing snow. Your uniform is cotton, 1 layer, issued for temperatures down to -20. The quota doesn't adjust for the extra 18 degrees. On day 3, the man beside you stops swinging his axe and just stands there. The guard walks over and hits him in the back of the knees with a rifle stock. The man goes down, gets up, keeps cutting, you keep cutting. That's the only available response. Daily calories, 1,400 if the kitchen runs correctly. It doesn't run correctly. Bread in the morning, thin soup at midday, bread again at night. Your body is burning through reserves built over 4 years of army rations. Calories in, energy out. Whilst you are always in deficit. The math doesn't improve. The shrapnel from Kursk is still in your left shoulder, lodged against the bone. In summer, you forget it's there. In February, it tightens 1 degree per hour until your left arm is half useful by the end of a shift. You keep swinging with the right. Stop swinging and lose rations. Lose rations and the math gets worse. 6 weeks in, your wife's letter doesn't arrive. She wrote every week during the war. 4 years, never missed. You count the days since the last envelope. 22, then 29. Then you stop counting days and start counting something else. On day 47, a camp official reads you a document. He holds it at chest height and reads it aloud the way someone announces a change to work assignments. Your wife's name, your children's names, ages 7 and 4. The regional office in Kiev has received a workplace denunciation. Her employer filed it. They always file it. She has been reclassified as a socially dangerous element, family member of a convicted enemy of the state. Yet your children have been withdrawn from school enrollment pending tribunal review. Formal deportation order. 90 days from the date of this notification. The official folds the document and walks back inside. You stand in the yard and do the math. 90 days. Today is day 47. The tribunal moves on schedule. You know this already. Something changes. Not emotion, something older. 4 years reading German positions from 300 meters in the dark. Won't you know how to look at a space and find the place where it's weakest? You start looking. Guard rotation, 3 shifts, 6 o'clock, 14 o'clock, 22 o'clock. Handoff takes 4 minutes. 2 guards face inward during the count. 1 faces the perimeter. 4 minutes when the northeast corner has 1 set of eyes instead of 2. The northeast perimeter. A logging road runs parallel 40 meters past the outer fence. 1 watchtower. The guard in it smokes. While you watch him light 3 cigarettes during the 2200 handoff over 5 consecutive nights. His eyes go to the flame every time. He needs help. He doesn't trust anyone. 90 days. Casimir Vogt, 54, Polish, assigned to the saw shed. Both ears taken by frostbite. The skin where they were smooth and flat like the surface of old scar tissue. He tried to run in 1942. Got 11 kilometers before a patrol pulled him from a drainage ditch. They added 15 years to his sentence and put him back on shift the following morning. He doesn't volunteer any of this. You piece it together over 2 weeks of watching. He works without talking, eats without looking up. Survives the way men survive when they've stopped expecting anything else. He notices you watching the perimeter. Over 3 weeks, he passes you information in fragments. Never the same location twice. A number during the meal line. A direction while stacking timber. Never a full sentence where a guard might hear the shape of it. The route north follows the logging road 14 kilometers to a railway spur. Freight trains to the Finnish border run Tuesdays and Fridays. Empty lumber cars. Third car from the engine. Eastern panel, loose for 2 years. Nobody has fixed it. A name in a village near the crossing. A Finnish man. Sheltered 2 before. Vogt says the name once and doesn't repeat it. You memorize everything. Same way you memorize coordinates. One morning he doesn't appear for roll call. Cardiac event during the night shift, the official says. You go to the saw shed before the work detail arrives. The floor has been swept, not well. A dark streak near the base of the main bench, still damp at the edge. 2 words, that's all. He's gone. The map is in your head now. 61 days left on the clock. 61 days. You eat less than your ration every day. 1 ladle of soup left in the bowl. Half a piece of bread wrapped in cloth and pressed into a hollow log near the northeast perimeter wire. The accumulation, 1/2 portion per day, 61 days, builds roughly 14 days of emergency food. Your body loses weight faster than the cash grows. You weigh 64 kilograms now. You were 71 at intake. At night, you do exercises against the barracks wall. Isometric, silent. No movement visible from the door. So you are rebuilding what the camp has been taking apart since February. You don't know if it will be enough. The odds are bad, not 0. Anya Leskova, 38, from Lviv, former school teacher. 8 years for distributing Ukrainian nationalist literature. 3 books in her apartment that name the wrong things. She has been here 14 months. She recognizes your crime the way you recognize hers. Same republic, same sentence. She doesn't say any of this directly. She doesn't have to. She has something you don't. The supply sergeant who controls the headcount logs has been accepting small payments from her for months. Extra blankets, work reassignments, things that cost him nothing. She doesn't describe the arrangement, she gives you the result. Thursday night shift. He falsifies the northeast perimeter log. 40-minute window beginning at 23:10. You find out the price she paid from the way she comes back from the supply shed that evening. The way she doesn't look at you. The math is simple. 2 people means double the food, half the speed. But without that window, the fence is just a fence. 30 days. 4 a.m., the assembly bell, not the work bell, shorter, twice. 3,000 prisoners in the yard, minus 31. You stand in formation and watch guards move through the barracks behind you. The wire used to bind the raft is missing from the tool shed and inventory. Someone counted. They search the barracks and find nothing. The wire is in the hollow log outside the search perimeter. The camp commander steps onto the platform. He announces that state property has been stolen. Someone will confess or someone will be selected. He says it without raising his voice. Nobody confesses. Dmitry Savchenko, 63, former railway engineer from Kharkiv. 8 years for failing to report a colleague's remark about grain quotas. A guard remembers seeing him near the maintenance shed 3 weeks ago. That's the evidence. That's all the evidence there is. Public hearing. 20 minutes. Dmitry says he doesn't know anything about wire. He's right. He doesn't. The tribunal sentences him to the isolation block. He dies there 4 days later. You learn this from the morning count. 1 name, not called, nothing else. Anya finds your wrist in the dark as the yard empties. She doesn't look at you. Her lips barely move. If you confess, your family still gets deported, and you die here. You stand there. The body that died for your wire is 40 meters away and the ground is frozen solid and it doesn't matter. The math doesn't change. Dmitry died for wire. 18 days left on the family clock. Thursday, 23:10. The sergeant falsifies the log. The northeast post drops to 1 guard. You and Anya move. 23:10. 1 guard. Northeast post, 40 minutes. The fence takes 55 seconds with the improvised cutter, a saw blade fragment wrapped in cloth. Anya goes first. You follow. The logging road is 14 kilometers north through standing timber. No lights, no sound. The way you moved outside Kharkov in 1942 when noise was the only variable you controlled. Anya is not slow, but she is civilian slow. Her gait breaks on uneven ground. You adjust your pace and say nothing. On the river is 8 degrees Celsius and moving fast. The raft, bark strips bound with the wire Dmitry died for. Holds your weight for 90 seconds. You cross. Anya pushes off. Midstream the binding gives. Current takes her 6 meters before you get a hand on her jacket and pull her onto the far bank. Breathing. Her hands already white. 2 kilometers from the railway spur, Dogs. Border Patrol moving parallel 300 meters east. You go to ground in a drainage ditch. Water to your chest, 85 minutes. You don't move. The freight train arrives at 2:40. Third car from the engine, eastern panel, loose exactly as Vogt described. You get it open in under a minute. You climb. You reach back. Anya's hands won't close. The cold has taken the grip from them. She looks at you. Go. You have children. The train moves. Finland. A name in a village. A door in the dark. You knock. It opens. You check the damage. Cuts across both palms. 2 fingernails torn at the base. Left shoulder sees completely from the cold. You weigh somewhere under 52 kilograms. You are outside. You don't know if Anya is alive. You don't know anything yet. You're 39 now. The year is 1949. You live in a resettlement room in Chicago. 11 square meters, 1 window facing a brick wall. The United States government admitted you under the Displaced Persons Act of 1948. Processing took 14 months. Finnish Red Cross, Swedish Transit Camp, a church organization in Hamburg, a ship manifest filed in Bremerhaven. You don't talk about those 14 months. The resettlement stipend is $47 upon arrival. You spend $31 on 1 month's rent, the rest on bread, canned fish, a second-hand coat. You work in a textile factory on the northwest side. Assembly line, fluorescent lights, same color as the ones in Perm. Minimum wage is 75 cents per hour, 48 hours per week. The math, $36 per week before deductions. Rent is $31 per month. The rest covers food if nothing breaks. 2 men from a government office interview you in October. They want Soviet troop positions in Western Ukraine, supply routes, officers you served under. You answer everything. It feels like a different kind of ownership. You don't say that. 8 months after arriving, a Red Cross letter reaches you through the resettlement agency. Your wife and children were processed through the Soviet deportation system 11 days after your escape. Relocated to Kazakhstan. Current whereabouts, unknown. File status, active. You read it twice, fold it, put it in the coat pocket. Every light in the room stays on at night. Overhead, desk lamp, bathroom. Your hands shake in temperatures below 10 degrees. You buy your food at the corner store and eat it alone. You don't trust your neighbors. You check the door twice before sleeping. Old habits don't expire just because the geography changes. In 1953, you watch the news on a television in the factory break room. Stalin is dead. The announcer reads the statement twice. The men around you react. You do the math instead. Your children were 7 and 4 in 1947. That makes them 13 and 10 now, if they're alive. Kazakhstan didn't finish what the tribunal started. The Red Cross file was closed in 1952. Notation, administratively resolved. You don't know what that means. You have asked twice. Nobody has answered. A newspaper the following week runs a story about a young man, 24, recently defected from the Soviet Union through the Finnish corridor. He is being interviewed in a processing center in West Germany. The reporter asks why he ran. He says staying meant disappearing slowly and running meant choosing how. You recognize the math behind the words. You wonder if someone taught him. An old man with no ears left, maybe. Someone who spoke in fragments and never repeated himself in the same location twice. You wonder if he left someone behind on a train, in a river, in a room where the lights never go off. The Soviet Gulag system held approximately 1.5 million prisoners at its peak in the early 1950s. The camps are still operating, still expanding. The ideology you were sentenced for, that your republic deserved its own language, won't be recognized for another 38 years. Last month, you voted in the American election. First ballot you ever cast for anything. You stood in the booth for a long time before marking it. You don't know what it means yet. You just know you did it. That's a wrap. This story is fiction. The Gulag system, the family deportation policy, and the 1.5 million, those are real. If this one made you think, drop a comment.